Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Monday, July 29th, 2024. Hope you're doing well. You had a great weekend. Week's off to a great start. All that good stuff. And that you have an awesome week ahead of you. We're going to jump right in and see what's going on for this message today. What does the Spirit have to say? Don't forget to take advantage of the summer soul sale. 11 questions and personal prayers composed according to your manifestation intentions. All in the description box below. Okay. Next up. Oh no, the Ten of Wands. Struggle. Upheaval. My eye is like, I don't know if I got something in it. What's that Bible verse? Like something about removing the log from your eye before you judge the thorn in your neighbor. I know I'm jacking that all up, but it's something that Jesus says in the Gospels about your eye and the log in your eye. Hold on, because now I don't know why it's coming up, but I feel like I need to look it up, and I be having my phone here these days, so I can real quick, and then we'll see what else we got going on here. The log in eye. Why do you see a speck? Why do you see the speck in your neighbor's eye, but do not notice the log in your own eye? Or how can you say to your neighbor, let me take the speck out of your eye while the log is in your eye? You hypocrite, first take the log out of your own eye, then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your neighbor's eye. And that's Matthew 7, verse 3-5. All right. Don't know what that's about. What's this down here? Oh, the Eight of... Wow. This is some real strong energy right now. So there's like spiritual imprisonment here, disempowerment. Now, the Ten of Wands is more or less the completion of a cycle of upheaval and struggle. Yet, when you get to the end of this of this cycle here, and she's blind too, mind you, based on what we just read, so that's interesting. Oh my gosh. But when you get to the end of this cycle here is when you come to the decision of whether or not you are done carrying this burden. There's the choice to be made. You know, if you're going to carry this into yet another cycle, or if you're going to lay some of these wands or rods down to rest. And as a matter of fact, sometimes I actually see this card as like carrying a cross, carrying a burden. In this case, usually it's one that, generally speaking, this card represents carrying burdens that you willfully carry, so that you have a choice. And then the Eight of Swords, again, like some type of binding. Let's see, what else is under this deck? The Ace. Did I say the Ace? No, I said the Eight of Swords, but here's the Ace of Swords. So somebody's burdened by the truth? Oh. The truth. And something they expected, or hold on. What's the difference between, that's the Seven of Wands, which would be protection, or protecting your perspective or your energy, standing your ground. I don't know why I'm feeling like it's just someone that refuses to close a cycle based on the truth that's been revealed. It's like they're they're insisting on seeing something else. Like they're holding out expectation for something else. Like, nah, this can't be it. It can't be over. This can't be, the end result here. They are holding out for some other outcome. But then we got the Three of Swords, and then the King of Pentacles. And Judgment. So they're holding out for some other outcome because it's whatever the ending is, it's not perceived to be beneficial to them. Like it doesn't benefit them to accept it as is. But that could be the spiritual binding with the Eight of Swords, because this is divine truth. Like, it's unadulterated, it's pure. You can't really argue with it. You certainly can't manipulate it when it comes in this form, because this is from a divine nature. Like, it comes with receipts. It is the receipt. Okay, so it's like somebody has a receipt that something is over, but they refuse to accept that because it may, again, that it has some detrimental effect, at least from their perspective. But of course, as always, we got the King of Pentacles here, so it messes with somebody's stability or money or their influence or power or position. Like, that's why they can't accept it, because of the blemish that it puts on what they hold valuable at this time, what they revere to be valuable, whether it's their own position and accomplishments, accolades, the rewards and profit that they've gained from it. Something here has a greater value to them than apparently the truth. And look, with this Ten of Wands and then the Three of Swords, like, somebody is really going to exhaust themselves pushing against this ending. It's like overworking yourself to like I don't know, like a heart condition or something here I'm seeing. Or, overexerting yourself, trying to work against reality is what could literally it could be physically putting someone at risk. Because the Judgment card is here. Oh, gosh, darn it. Because the Judgment card is here, which means that it couldn't be more final with the Judgment card. It's like Spirit is going to have the final say, no matter what you think about it. And that's just what it is. So it doesn't matter how much pushback you make or how resistant you are. You could be really, really strong. You could have a strong resistance to what is. But up against, the divine, it's like pushing up against a brick wall, because it's going to be whatever it's been decided to be at this point. Right? So if this is true, that somebody's being resistant and then still expecting it, like really almost expecting, because of their pushback, to have it their way, they're in dangerous territory with this Three of Swords here. They could potentially lose more than just some material wealth or things. As they say, health is wealth. So it's like somebody's putting more of their wealth in health, maybe mentally. But I get the sense that energetically as well, like they're losing steam. Because at this point, at the 10, you shouldn't be regressing back to the 3. This should be over. You should be moving on at this point. And the Judgment is the final say, the final outcome of when you get to more or less reflect upon your experience here at the 10 and refresh your perspective of how to move forward, how to start a new cycle, what to, it's almost like somebody getting a second chance post this 10 of Wands, and they're like, nah, F that. I'm going back in for another round to like pick up where they left off, or to get something they feel like they lost or left behind or missed out. I don't know, but it's I don't know. It's given some level of denial though, because the Ace of Swords is final and the Judgment is final. So let's see what else we got. The sty in your eye. Not the sty. But what was it? Look, here's the 5 of Cups. And the 5 of Cups and the 3 of Cups. Which all together is the 8 of Cups. What's the 8 of Cups? The 7 is confusion. The 8 is walking away. So somebody's apprehensive about walking away from, and these two cards almost go together perfectly, because what he's looking at is the 3 of Cups spilled out. So that either this is someone, and it's still giving past reflection, because this still is about like what has already happened. Yeah, so somebody may have, oh my goodness, is given that somebody may have been given an out from what was a very stressful situation, and instead of them taking that out, they decided to double back and go in for another dip, because they couldn't bear the reality of being left out of this good time here with the 3 of Cups. They couldn't bear the thought of missing out, the FOMO, really missing out on what they feel has some type of profitability here, some reward. That they feel like they've that they could, either they feel like they need to reclaim that was left behind in the cycle, or that they, like I said, like they figure they have some new perspective or intel on how to play this field a little differently and have that ideal outcome. Maybe they, it could be so many different things, but ultimately with the Five of Cups here, that's somebody that's not willing to let go and move forward. They're still mourning over what they've lost, or maybe pining over what they've lost. And in that energy, you would be susceptible to, you know, either you would go back into it, or somebody's emotional state is such that they can't shake the residue off of their depression from being disconnected. Like, they're still bothered by the fact that there are certain places and spaces and certain accesses that they can no longer look forward to, not reverencing the reality that, you know, it caused a great deal of struggle, clearly, to come to the Ten of Wands, but more so fixating on what they could have gained while they were in that experience. It's like somebody almost romanticizing the pros over the cons, but in this case, there were a great deal of cons, maybe real cons. Oh, shoot. Wow, look, we got the Four of Swords, the Nine of Wands. Yeah, like, probably got conned out of some energy or out of something, which is, okay. I don't be using words for nothing. Here's the World card, which signifies the end. And look at this, the Ten of Swords, betrayal, backstabbing. Yes, like somebody, maybe they got conned in something that they, you know, invested themselves in. You know, they thought they were a part of the party and they were just a party favor, you know. But instead of them just cutting their losses, counting their wins, and moving on, this is somebody that feels provoked to run it back. And like I said, either to try to reclaim what they feel they lost and may feel entitled to, or to maybe try to get their lick back, or, you know, something crazy. Something crazy. That's only gonna lead to heartbreak with the Three of Swords. Like, they might mess around and become a damn sacrifice going backwards. You thought, I'm gonna take it in reverse too. King of Swords. Not using his better judgment to move on, move forward in your right state of mind while you have it. Somebody is about to become a casualty of their stubbornness. Yeah, and with the King of Swords in reverse, it's giving the energy, like I said, of somebody that feels like, eureka, I got it. Let me go back and, you know, they feel like they're smarter, wiser, and more clever than they actually are. With the Four of Pentacles. Holding on to this idea of control, conservatism of their resources. Again, wanting to reclaim something that they feel is theirs. And it's like that ship has sailed. Whatever it is that they are looking to retrieve or reclaim, it's already gone. And it's like they're about to miss the boat on their escape from hell, if they haven't already, and be stuck right where they insist to return to. It's like missing the last ferry out, and now you stuck on that island because you just needed to have one more drink, one more round, one more dance, one like a party that's going on too long, that you figure, oh, I got it, I'm gonna get out just in time, I'm gonna go out just in time, and then you don't, because you get caught up in whatever, whatever space you submit yourself to, and it ultimately just consumes you. So this is the energy again of somebody that thinks they can go back, and they feel justified in their return because, like I said, kind of as a slip, cons, they feel like it's only justified for them to go back and get what they lost, whatever that is. And shoot, what was I gonna say? I kind of lost the thought. And you go back with at least this person's brand of noble intentions, right? Justified at least. And you get completely sidetracked and distracted into becoming a part of, like almost being reacclimated into the place that you had already kind of escaped from. It's ill. It's like, say you had a group of friends or whatever. They're more like frenemies in this case. And something shady happens and you're kind of like excommunicated from the group, or you're disconnected in some way, whatever the drama is. But you're seeing them on Instagram just going on with life without you. Nobody seems to really care. You're seeing them at all the parties you used to go to and doing all the things that y'all used to do, or making money together, making content together, doing whatever, like you're seeing it, or maybe not, but you're imagining it at best, that this is what's happening without you. So you feel, but you were the one that was more or less like sabotaged or betrayed with that 10 of Swords. Like something they did to you is what, it's like, how y'all just going, and picture this, you're the reason why they all know each other at that. I just got that download, that they wouldn't even all be friends if it wasn't for them meeting each other through you. And then they go off and into the sunset and leave you at home feeling lonely. So you muster up the energy to kind of like maybe, I guess I don't know, like you curb your pride, I guess, and go back to this group of people, whether it is to either get your revenge somehow, some sneaky, clever way. Again, this is somebody thinks they're clever, or to get your lick back from what was done to you, or if there was some money stole, whatever it was that you feel like you lost, you go back into that space to retrieve it. And that's your only point, like, man, F these people. I'm just gonna go back, and you, in your mind, you're gonna wreak havoc. You're gonna tear shit up right under their nose. They're not even gonna know. You go back into the group and you get done dirtier than you did the first time, because you get swept back into the lifestyle, swept back into the culture where nobody really likes each other. It's all for show. It's all for shits and giggles. It's all for opportunity's sake. You know, everybody's an opportunist, and everybody's looking to come up off the other and not be the one left out. But everybody's backstabbing everybody. But you're purified in the truth of it all now. So you're going against your integrity of what you know to be true and what you feel, what you've been blessed with a certain clarity about, just to so-called get back. And like I said, you find yourself swept up into the scenarios of that camaraderie all over again, and end up worse than where you started, where you might have incurred a great betrayal. It might have been a stressful experience, maybe even got a little PTSD with that, what was it, the Eight of Wands. But now you're stuck up, you're caught up in something that you can't even see your way out of. Literally stuck on the island with folks that you really you couldn't even, trust to watch your drink, let alone, with your actual life. Like something weird like that going on here. I don't know what the hell. Let's see. Literally can't trust them to watch your drink, with the Five of Cups and the Three of Cups. Something real sinister going on. But somebody don't have nobody to blame but themselves, because they had no business going back. They made an impulsive decision to go back when the fairies headed that way. Here they go headed this way. And with this, it could even, like I said, have been somebody kind of kidding themselves a little bit, like, yeah, I'm just going to go back just to, to get my revenge, or to avenge what I lost or whatever. But really, they just like the life. Like, low key, they like the life. With the Knight of Swords. They like the debauchery. They like the ratchetness. They like the drama. They love the sexual deviance. Like, they love it. They even love a little bit of the betrayal, because at least it's like, how when people are cutters, and it's like, well, at least you can feel something. Like, they just do it to have a sensation. At least they can feel something through the drama, that I don't know, it's like somebody has a distorted sense of self, that they're like a glutton for punishment, or a sadist or something. I don't know, like where they almost feel good to be in toxic circles, because not just for the benefit of what they get on account of whatever the access or connection is with these individuals, but it's something about, I don't know, it's real weird. Like somebody wanting to, it's like somebody, how they say, like, if you don't have no haters, you ain't popping. I guess, but it's somebody really like getting their fix off of being hated on to some degree, or being, I don't know, it's something weird like that. Exactly. This is weird. What the hell's going on in these streets? That's why I stays to myself, child. People are weird. It's like somebody that gets off on the drama, like literally is aroused and enticed by toxic environments and toxic people. It's like that's their people. They feel at home there. They feel like, maybe it's because they feel like they could be themselves, because they know, like I said, they know they're just as toxic as them. Never mind how scathed they become on account of this association. They still feel like somehow like they do better in that than in anything like pure, because you can't really flex in pure situations when you have an energy such as this. It doesn't really work for you. But if you are kind of toxic, you will want to be around toxic people, because You don't really have to have much of a conscience, you know, to be your false self. You don't, everybody's false, everybody's shady, you know, everybody's a con man. So you don't really have to raise your standard of identity very much or live by any elevated creed, because that's what everybody does. So it's given that some people would, you know, feel more at home in these connections where they, you know, where there's not much to be expected of them. No matter how depressing, how unsatisfying, how debilitating it can be, I don't know. It's like, I don't. Yeah, this is like old. This is some childhood stuff. This is just somebody that needs some healing. That's all that comes down to. What's this? 9 of Cups. Yeah, they need healing. The difference between these is the 3, which is back to this, the 3 of Cups. The difference between the 9 and the 6. This is a matter of like, this could be like self-esteem. And someone may be having a distorted sense of self-esteem or distorted sense of self, where they are so inclined to toxicity and maybe even trauma that's just what that's the only thing they really feel safe in or more secure in. Because anything pure is just asking too much of their character for them to maintain or sustain, you know, some level of honesty, integrity, commitment, devotion, you know, authenticity, all the things that are truly of high value. Like somebody, and this definitely represents trauma here with the 3 of Swords. So yeah, it's just a matter of somebody's childhood traumas that they don't want to, they feel like it's more of an upheaval to pursue truth and maybe even healing from their traumas than to just kind of like relent to them, like almost surrender to them in this case. And it's something alluring or tantalizing about it too that keeps drawing somebody back into this fray. It's like they're trying to prove something to themselves, like maybe again that they are the smartest, they are the dominant one, they are, you know, like maybe whatever these circles are plays like whips on their self-esteem and their self-worth, where it is connected to material gain or measurement, maybe the only thing that is connected to. So when it threatens that or challenges that, it sends them in to like feel like they have to prove themselves to themselves in that way, because that's the only way that they feel esteemed at all. And that's really sad. That's really sad. That's wow. Because the 5 of Wands, that's change. Like you would have to change, you know, you would really have to change in order to go anywhere else and thrive. Wow. The biggest change of them all. Transformation. It's like somebody rather kill themselves to be a part of the crowd than to have to change for the better. Like they feel it's just too excruciating to not be where they can be their lowest self than to consider being anything elevated or going higher. What else? Wow, and the Empress. That's a mommy issue. Five of Wands, yeah. This is definitely energy of somebody that has issues with femininity. The feminine forces in their lives from when they were a child, whatever that influence was, whatever impression was made, whatever the relationship was, could have been distorted, could have been abusive, could have been, I don't know. It couldn't have been but so healthy if this is where we are at this point in time. Something very poor. And my voice has been struggling this whole time. Something very poor. What's under here? Oh, and the sun that's being exposed. It could even be that someone has come to the revelation of the root of their issue, but it's like too big of an infliction to face. Like, imagine having to like confront your mom on account of something that happened to you, or to press your mom for answers, or to confess something to your mom that happened to you, or to challenge. I don't know, but it seems like a great feat for someone, a great challenge. Maybe one that's just too much to face, but they won't have a choice at some point, because this Sun card is illuminating not only the disparity of where they are, like where they've been more or less like drawn to on account of their inflictions, but also probably illuminating the source of it as well. So it's to the point where it's like, if you're not going to lay that burden down, source is going to assist in some way, shape, and form. I don't know, something deep. I mean, I said earlier that somebody is exhausting themselves. There's something deeper behind these cards today that I don't feel like I'm tapping into. I don't know if I'm supposed to, though, even though this Sun card just peeked out through the back. I think there's something more to be revealed here. Like, what was that verse again? Take the staff out of your eye before you, or take the log out of your eye before you could take the speck. It's a speck out of the other, out of your neighbors or whatever. Yeah, it could be a matter of personal revelations that are just piercing through these days for everyone, for all of us, of what really is the root of our underlining issues, like what's been holding many of us back, what's been keeping us in scarcity, and and fear, what traumas have yet to be uncovered, the source of those afflictions and all of that. It's like, it's time for it to be revealed, and especially even a lot of spiritualists and readers, I'm included in all of that. there's a lot that we've incurred that have even led us to this space in the first place, where we're just wanting to help and to heal, bring hope and light to others. And a lot of us don't have the full story of our afflictions just yet. It's unfolding. A lot of us are literally gaining revelation in real time of why we are the way that we are. And so maybe this is just putting everyone on notice that, you know, almost to kind of like brace yourself, because there may be some things, as I said, that you won't be able to get around knowing. But in this sense, like I said, it brings you to the Ten of Wands, which is a completion. You know, this truth being the liberator, where it may be some things that are hard to hear, hard to accept, you know, maybe unfavorable to acknowledge, but at the 10, it rounds out closure. And now the only thing that you need to carry with you beyond that point is what you decide to. So that means your perspective is key. Whatever it is that's being revealed, whatever you come to the knowledge of or revelation of, you can do as this energy does and decide you're going to go back and avenge your misfortunes, or take revenge on those that wronged you, or feel, you know, so isolated and disconnected that, you know, you almost kind of like go back into abusive circumstances because that's where you just feel at home or secure. You know, it's like, well, where else am I going to go? That's who I know, that's what I know, that's what we do, type of thing. Or you can decide to start that new cycle and to let the revelation transform a new perspective of life for you, where you get to take charge of your creativity at this point, what you give life to and what you absolutely do not. It's now your choice as to what burdens or blessings you carry off from whatever it is that you've experienced or whatever is being revealed. Because like I said, I'm sensing something much deeper than that. That's probably so specific, and even my throat has been messing up this whole time. Like, that's so specific to whomever you are that it wouldn't even matter. And this came up in reverse for me to try to zero in on it, because everyone's having their own brand of it. And the Four of Cups in reverse. In the upright, it's about feeling like you had a missed opportunity, feeling rejected, you're missing out. Oh, so that overturns that energy here. Let me see what's on the bottom. Or it could be, you know, allowing yourself to go through that dark night of the soul on account of your revelations, like really coming to terms with the fact that it's okay not to be a part of certain things, or not to be included, not to be accepted, maybe not even to be invited, you know? And the transition of acceptance for that reality may look a little something like this with the Nine of Swords, where it's like, it's an adjustment at first. It may invoke some anxiety about what the future holds or what's to come. But what's on the bottom? But yeah, at the end, it's a wise choice to make. Once you get over your anxieties and your eagerness and accept your choice as the one that was suitable for you in this case, that had a higher value than what you've been investing yourself in over and over again, you know, where you felt comfortable. This was your comfort zone, or what, you know, what you felt inclined to invest your energy into. And then finally just saying, like, you know, being honest with yourself to say, you know what, I'm not happy with this anymore. This does nothing for me. And it's kind of like when you go through that, this could be something even deeper than that. When you go through like withdrawal, you know, when you go through that transition of weaning yourself off a drug or alcohol, and your body misses it. You know, it's even a bit of a fight in your mind from the sensation of feeling like you need it. It could happen the same way with people and, you know, friendships and family and all types of stuff. It does. It happens. It can be a tough transition to make, but this is a high vibrational card. The Eight of Cups signifies that what you may be on to is finally that Nine of Cups that popped up earlier in its purest form, where you can really be satisfied with yourself, really be fulfilled on a spiritual level, feel good about yourself, have high self-esteem, knowing that you're valuing your vitality at a much higher rate than maybe perhaps what you were even conditioned to do. You're healing those traumatic wounds, or at least are on your way to it, you know. Very emotional card with the Eight of Cups. You're at least not willing to settle for less than what you know you deserve anymore. That's a high point of this transition here. The only high point since the Ace of Swords. All right, let's wrap it up here. Ooh. Ooh, both of these are reversed. Oh, what? No. Well, I guess this is the energy of those that choose not to. Choose not to the point that I just made. This is the outcome. A lack of success and forward movement, and you know, unfulfillment with the Nine of Cups in reverse and the Six of Wands. It's like, damn, we were almost there. Some people just gotta learn the hard way. This is like somebody that, you know, maybe they say, you know, I don't know. This could be somebody that just has an addictive personality, syndrome right now, and they're stuck in that addiction where they almost got out, but, you know, was one sleepless night too many, and they went right back into the struggle. Had that drink, smoked that blunt, or whatever, popped that pill. I hope nothing more than a blunt, Lord. I mean, I ain't got nothing against neither one, but anything harder than that, you definitely and maybe that, oh man, that could be all that I was really talking about. Somebody like self-medicating on account of, oh man. Yeah, with the Knight of Wands. And sometimes, and I even know this from being a weed smoker, okay? Like, I've been over a year sober, I guess you could say, at this point, but there have been times, transparently so, where I put myself in social settings where I knew I would be able to smoke or smoke a certain thing or smoke for free or whatever, and that I really didn't want to be in. You know, that if I wasn't smoking, I wouldn't really choose to be around those people or that person or in that environment. But because at that time, that addiction, let's just call it what it is, that habit at least. But in that regard, when you start kind of sacrificing your highest desire for the sake of indulging, it's a bit more on the addiction side, I would say, for myself. Yeah, and that's what it's given now, that somebody's having a hard time taking charge over their self-control. And again, it literally could be just being around certain people, but with the cups being what they are, it's like somebody missing out on the energy. Like I said, they like the debauchery, they like the drama, and it's like they rather be numb and high and in on the vibe and on a certain wavelength, not to have to feel their traumas, because when you're sober, that's when you can feel everything. The truth is very clear. Than to have to actually face it and move in the direction away from it. So this could be somebody that, that transition of withdrawal was just too strong, and the feeling of the reminiscence of missing out, seeing everybody else still doing everything that you really still have a craving to do. One. And this is Six of Wands, yeah, with the Seven of Swords. Like they tried to get away from it, or it could even be like they tricked themselves into thinking, I could just go hang out, I don't have to do much. And then here you are, and look, the Wheel of Fortune is here, and what's this? Temperance, self-control, balance, and moderation. Yeah. This right now is giving like somebody, like a dealer serving people right here. Look how they look. From that Five of Pentacles. I don't know, something else weird about this reading though, with the Six of Pentacles. I'm thinking about the Five of Pentacles from what popped up, and they almost look like vagrants, like on the prowl looking for something. So some people might not really be doing good. Yeah, and here's the Six of Cups again. Somebody stuck in some type of codependent. Now my throat is all seized up. That's crazy. Stuck in, and with the back to that scripture, what is giving me right now in this moment also is like the blind leading the blind. Where you might have somebody, two people that are dependent on substances that are more or less kind of keeping each other stuck, and where one may have had more of a leg up to relieve himself, they come back, they came back around, they got sucked back in. They got sucked back in. Again, whether this is just a partnership or whether it's a friendship, a kinship, frenemies, whatever it is, there's some codependency here. And I don't know why we had to talk about it today, but it seems like an urgent matter that needs to be addressed in someone's highest mind in order for them to ultimately kind of save themselves. Because it seems like, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen the Six of Wands in reverse. Maybe the Nine of Cups. I've certainly read the Nine of Cups in reverse, even when it wasn't reversed, because sometimes, depending on what's surrounding it, reads like overindulgence to me. So it being actually reversed is a huge signifier of everything that I'm saying. And I guess, you know, it just will take someone, like I said, to be more satisfied being well and in their best health, and, you know, on their own, and fearless to address some of the pains and traumas that they've incurred, that they've been obviously trying to suppress or numb altogether, than to put themselves on this path of destruction, because the death card is out here. Whether you could call it whatever you want to call it, and in this case, I do see it as an invitation for transformation, but it's like, or else. Like I said in the very beginning, like somebody's putting themselves in a very dangerous, some people, you know, perhaps are putting themselves in a very sticky situation where no matter what the addiction or obsession may be, is beginning to possess them more than they are having control over it. And that ultimately takes a toll on the spirit and the physical being. So, I don't know. All right, I'm gonna leave it here, I guess. And maybe somebody's on the flip side, just to give it a little glimmer of light. Maybe that's the delusion that I was thinking, in terms of like somebody like trying to outsmart themselves, thinking that they can somehow withstand the temptations within the group that they, or whatever space they keep returning back to. Maybe even somewhat feeling like they can help, or somehow help, you know, be a healing or an inspiration, or, you know, kind of like back to the scripture, right? You know, to create some change in spaces that they have struggled in. But you got to heal yourself first. You can't reach back for family, friends, nothing, until you allow yourself to emerge from that dark night of the soul in total control, or at least with a devoted, you know, a devotion to controlling your temptations and urges. Not, this ain't somebody that's ready to go back and save nobody. Like, not at all. And like I said, I get the sense that they're really just kidding themselves at heart, you know, like maybe wanting to make something noble out of their connection, when in actuality they just still have a bit of an obsession that needs to be cared for. I don't know. Seemed very specific today, but I'm sure it's not, of course. Like, I know a lot of people that are dealing with how life is transitioning right now are finding ways to try to cope with it, comforts to ease their anxieties. But whatever the discomfort is with change, you can weather it, especially if you know. You may not know when that outcome will turn around, but you have to know that it's better than what you're experiencing. Because nobody likes to wake up hungover, really. Nobody likes to be fiending for things in such a way that you put yourself in compromising positions or with compromised people, you know, like nobody really wants that for themselves. So I pray for anyone that is challenged to overcome that feat, would find the strength and the willpower to do so, because it's not easy. It's not. So anyway, peace be with you all, no matter what the circumstance. I pray the best for all, overall. Thank you for listening and watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.